A fan was hit by a broken club and required stitches Friday at the Web.com Tour's WinCo Foods Portland Open. According to ESPN.com, Kevin Stadler slammed his club in frustration, causing his club head to break, and it struck a fan in the head. The fan required 6 stitches and was released from the hospital. Orlando Pope, a Web.com Tour rules official, spoke with ESPN.com. "It was a very freakish accident. Kevin is devastated. He had trouble trying to finish the round. He was quite worried and felt so bad." Former PGA champion Shaun Micheel was in Stadler's group and posted this message on Facebook. "One of my playing partners played a poor shot with a 7-iron on the par 3 15th hole this morning. In a fit of anger he slammed his club against the ground in the side of his foot, which caused the club to break about 6 inches from the bottom. I had my head down, but the club head flew behind me and hit a spectator to my right. It's been a while since I've seen so much blood." We stayed with him for about 15 minutes before the EMTs arrived. The last I heard was that he had a possible skull fracture, but that he was doing okay otherwise. Stadler was absolutely shattered, and we did our best to keep his spirits up. This was not done on purpose, and we were astounded at the way the club was directed, but it shows you just how dangerous it is to throw or break clubs. Each of us in the group learned something today. Pebble Beach, Caliph. On his family's happiest day in years, Nick Bling stood off to the side of the 18th green, trying to collect himself. His oldest son, Devin, had just advanced to the U.S. Amateur Final, and he surely knew that, at some point, the question was coming. Of the many members in the family's boisterous cheering section that came here to Pebble Beach, a clan that includes Nick's brothers and sisters, his in-laws and the teaching professionals of his hometown club, one person was conspicuously absent. So for 22 seconds, Nick couldn't utter a word. "She's watching," he said, finally, wiping under his sunglasses. His wife, Sarah, died in February 2013 after suffering a sudden blood clot that went to her brain. She was only 45, the mother of 2 young boys. The news took everyone by surprise. That day Nick and Devin were together at a junior tournament in Southwest California, while Sarah was at home with her youngest son, Dylan. "That was bad. Unexpected," said Dylan, now 16. "I don't even want to think about that. That was a rough year." Sarah was a fixture at all of the boys' junior tournaments. She organized their schedules, packed their lunches, and frequently shuttled them to and from China Lake, the only course in their small hometown of Ridgecrest, about 2 hours north of Los Angeles, where they've lived since 1990. An engineer at the Naval Air Weapons Station, Nick picked up the game at age 27, and though he had no formal training, at his best, he was a high 80s shooter. He was the boys' primary swing coach until high school, when Devin was passed off to PGA instructor Chris Mason. "Devin has world-class raw talent, and there's a lot of things you can't teach, and he's got a lot of that," said UCLA assistant coach Andrew Larkin. But his dad looked at the game very analytically. He was able to break down the golf swing from a technical standpoint, and I think that has helped him. His dad is a brilliant man. Devin watched his dad hit balls in the garage and, at 18 months, began taking full swings with a plastic club, whacking shots against the back of the couch. Once his son was bigger, Nick put down a mat and built a hole in the dirt on the family's property. U.S. Amateur, articles, photos and videos. Once it was time for the next step, there was only one option in town. China Lake is more than 300 miles from Pebble Beach, but in many ways they're worlds apart. The course is dead in the winter, picked over by the birds in the spring, and baked out in the summer, with 110-degree temperatures and winds that occasionally gust to 60 miles per hour. Devin still blossomed into a well-known prospect. "Growing up in Ridgecrest," Devin said, "some could say that it's a disadvantage. I could use the course and take a shag bag and go out and practice. So I used it to my advantage, and if it weren't for that golf course, I wouldn't be here today, nor would he be here without the support of his family." Asked how they survived the tragedy of losing Sarah so suddenly, Nick Bling said, "Brothers, kids, friends, half of Ridgecrest, the town, they all came together. What do they say, that it takes a village to raise a boy? It did. 2 boys. Devin carried a 4.2 GPA in high school and played well enough to draw interest from UCLA. He played on the team last season as a freshman, winning a tournament and posting 3 other top 10s. The consistency in his game has been lacking, but the time spent around the Bruins coaches is starting to pay off, as he's developed into more than just a swashbuckling power hitter. He has refined his aggression, though he's offered more than a few reminders of his firepower. Last fall, the team held a Red Tee Challenge at TPC Valencia, where they all teed off from the red markers. Bling shot 28 on the back 9. In addition to his awesome game, Larkin said that Bling was one of the team's most mature players, even after arriving on campus as a 17-year-old freshman. "I think his mannerisms and his charisma really come from his mom," Larkin said. "It was a super hard time in his life, but I think it helped him grow and mature at an early age. He's such a good big brother, and he took a lot of that responsibility. There's a blessing in everything that happens, and I think it made him grow a little young. I think he's the man he is today because of her." In his player profile, Bling wrote that his mom always wanted him to play in USGA championships because of their prestige, and she would have loved to watch him maneuver his way through his first U.S. amateur appearance. After earning the No. 41 seed in stroke play, Bling knocked off 2 of the top amateurs in the country, Shintaro Ben and Noah Goodwin, edged one of the nation's most sought-after prospects, Davis Riley, and on Saturday traded birdies with Pacific Coast amateur champion Isaiah Salinda. In one of the most well-played matches of the week, Bling made 6 birdies in a 7-hole span around the turn and shot the stroke play equivalent of a 65 to Salinda's 66. The match came down to 18, where Bling bludgeoned a drive over the tree in the middle of the fairway, knocked it on the green in 2 shots and forced Salinda to make birdie from the greenside bunker, which he couldn't. Bling was a 1-up winner, clinching his spot in the finals, and the 2019 Masters and US Open, and setting off a raucous celebration behind the rope line. "He played as good as I've ever seen," Larkin said. "The talent has always been there, and I'm glad it's coming out this week." Another difficult opponent awaits in the championship match. It's a mismatch on paper, a 36-hole final between Oklahoma State junior Victor Hovland, ranked 5th in the world, and the No. 302 ranked Bling. Hovland had won each of his previous 2 matches by a 7-6 margin, the first time that's happened since 1978, and then dropped 8 birdies on Cole Hammer on Saturday afternoon. But he's likely never faced a player with Bling's resolve, or a cheering section as supportive as his family's. "This means a lot to us," Dylan said. "It was finally Devin's time, and I knew one day it'd come down to the finals. He's been playing awesome. Mom is probably really happy right now." Article tags 2018 U.S. Amateur, Devin, Bling, Victor Hovland U.S. Ryder Cup captain Jim Furyk sounds like a man champing at the bit to officially fill out his American team and accelerate final plans for the matches in Paris next month. With 8 automatic qualifiers secured last Sunday, all that's left are his 4 captains' picks. At times it felt like it was dragging on, Furyk told Amanda Balianis during CBS TV's Rain Delay Saturday at the Wyndham Championship. "I'm excited to get to this point, but still in no hurry to commit to naming Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson as 2 of his captain's picks. We have some great choices, and certainly Tiger and Phil look like they are in great form," Furyk said. Furyk, when specifically asked about Tiger's chances as a pick, "He's played great," Furyk said. "I'm in such a great position right now with so many players playing well and so many great players to choose from. The difficult part is going to be, backquote, how do we pluck 4 guys out of there? Certainly, Tiger is in great form and has put himself in a great position, and on Mickelson's chances, Phil does provide a lot of veteran leadership, Furyk said. He hasn't missed one of these in a long time. He's had a good season, and he's putting extremely well. I want to say, he's second in putting stats right now. All good stuff, and we'll see how the next few weeks kind of play themselves out. Wyndham Championship, full field scores, full coverage, current FedEx Cup points list. Furyk doesn't have to make his first 3 picks official until Sept. 4, with the final pick to be named 6 days later. While Woods and Mickelson may be locks, Furyk won't be rushed. There's still time, Furyk said. We are in an exciting part. We have 8 guys. I'm still talking to them, gathering some information. The vice captains have been talking a lot. Been fun seeing the banter and the texts going back and forth. We'll see how the next few weeks play themselves out. Furyk, by the way, is in contention at the Wyndham Championship. He was tied for 11th, 6 shots off the lead when interviewed in the weather delay. So, if he wins, would he resurrect talk of being a playing captain? The odds are about 0 right now, Furyk said. Now that I'm kind of knee-deep, and we're getting that close to the Ryder Cup, I really don't think it's possible to do both, be a player and a captain. The duties would be too great. And my game, I haven't played well the last couple years. I've been battling injuries, and battling myself. I'm excited. I have been feeling a lot better here the last few months and I've started playing some good golf. Article tags, 2018 Ryder Cup, Jim Furyk, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson MOLNDAL, Sweden, Paul Waring of England and Thomas Aiken of South Africa share the lead, 3 shots clear of their rivals, after the 3rd round of the Nordea Masters on the European Tour on Saturday. Waring was tied for first place with Scott Jamieson after the 2nd round and shot a 1 under 69. While Jamieson, 75, slipped down the leaderboard, Aiken caught up Waring after shooting 67 despite 3 straight bogeys from no. 15. He bounced back by making birdie at the last. Torbjorn Olesen, 67, and Mark Warren, 66, are tied for 3rd. Article tags, Thomas Aiken, Torbjorn Olesen, 2018 Nordea Masters. Brooks Koepka was moved by the respect shown when Tiger Woods waited for a half-hour at scoring last Sunday to congratulate Koepka for his PGA Championship victory at Bellerive. While Koepka stands as an example of the new athletes Woods has attracted to the game, he laughs hearing people compare his body to an NFL player's. Those were among the observations Koepka shared Friday on The Dan Patrick Show. That was surreal, Koepka said of Woods waiting to congratulate him. To hang around on 18, I wasn't expecting it. It was probably the coolest gesture he could have done. Koepka credits Woods for drawing him to the game. He's the reason I am playing, Koepka said. Koepka said playing with Woods in contention was a noisy experience that went beyond the roars Woods created making birdies in front of him. Even when he makes contact, you know what shot he's hitting, Koepka said. That's how loud people are. When they are putting his score up on the leaderboard, you hear it 3 holes away. About those NFL player comparisons, Koepka said his parents wouldn't let him play football when he was growing up. I wasn't big enough, he said. Koepka said he marveled meeting former Chicago Bears linebacker Brian Urlacher. To be compared to them, it makes me laugh, Koepka said. I'm about the size of a cornerback, maybe a free safety. Koepka said he's just over 6 feet tall and weighs 208 pounds. I saw Brian Urlacher give an interview, Koepka said. It was kind of funny. He said he was impressed at how big I wasn't. If I stand next to Justin Thomas, I'm going to look big. Golf doesn't really have many big guys, Koepka told Patrick he is impressed at the athletes just now coming into golf. I see the young guys coming out of college, Koepka said. They are bombing it past me. They hit it so far, they are leaving me in the dust. It's hard to think of because I've been one of the longest hitters on tour. Article tags, Brooks Koepka, Tiger Woods, 2018 PGA Championship.